My people, welcome to another Restoring the Breach podcast. I'm your host, Greg, where I live to help unlock the leadership potential inside of you. Man, I appreciate you guys walking this journey with me, man. I'm excited about today. I know I say that in every single episode, but today's very, very special for me. This brother that I got coming is not just a brother to me, but he's actually my blood. Even though he's my younger brother, man, he's somebody that I've always looked up to in so many facets. He is probably the most talented lyricist I personally know. And I know a lot of these things he'll deny. Such a phenomenal and powerful man of God. I'm talking about bold, fierce. He is what his name means. Because the meaning of Gary is one who carries a spear. But my brother is fiery, man, and he's somebody I've watched build up men and women around our region and beyond. I've watched him deliver the word of God in a phenomenal way. I've watched him be an accountability partner to so many people, man. He is a husband. He is a father. He is a leader. He is a community activist. He is a mentor. A CEO, web designer. He don't have enough titles, man. I'm telling you, for me to, he has too many titles for me to describe. But without further ado, I want to bring onto the stage my blood brother, man, Mr. Gary G-Wiz Coleman. I appreciate you being on, bro.
Bro.
Man, this is a long time coming, man. I've been waiting for this. We into season 6. But I've been waiting for an opportunity, the right moment to have you on. And what you do and what you've exemplified, what you've been in my life since we was sitting around playing Demolition Derby with couch pillows.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Where, bro?
You know, Demolition Derby. You know what I mean? That's what it is. That's what it is, bro. But that's what you've been, man. You've always been my ride or die, man. But I've watched you grow into a man, and what we've been talking about throughout this season is laying the foundation for the men's project, the 5 focus areas of men. And when I think about the hands focus area, a man who is not afraid to use the giftings, the purpose that he has, the things that he has been called to be a solution to a problem in the world, you are a person that always comes to mind. I'm a guy that's very methodical, sometimes to a fault. I'm always analyzing. I'm always trying to weigh whether it's the perfect scenario. You've been a person that is not afraid to jump in. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. I know in many situations, man, you've been the yin to my yang. And so I'm honored to have you on here, bro. I'm ready to get it popping today.
I'm amped to be on here, bro. Got the intro and stuff. It's crazy. Let's go.
You already know how to throw our baby pictures on it real quick.
Yo, swear.
Had to do it. That's when I used to be taller than you. That's been done and over with a long time. That's stopped in high school. You had the
glasses, I didn't, bro. I ain't never seen nobody grow out of glasses. That's crazy to me, bro.
No, that's because y'all used to make fun of me. That was God paying y'all back. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord.
Hey, yo. Yeah, bro.
But yeah, we're gonna dive into it, man. So first of all, I know you because you're my brother. But I want my audience to know who our guest is from your own mouth. If you could encapsulate who Gary J. Coleman is, man. Break that down for everybody.
I'm just a dude that wants to be empty, man, at the end of my life. That's it.
Yeah, I knew you'd provide a one liner.
That's it. I'm a dude that
I
just
know.
wants to be empty. It's funny. I hear people say all the time, bro, what can't you do? What don't you do? Well, I can't do what I never tried, and I don't do what I never thought about. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
good.
You know what I mean? If I think about doing it, I'm gonna do it, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It might not be the best when I try it the first time, and I might not try it again if I don't like it or if it's not anything beneficial to me, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. You know,
But
the
but
whole doer that I am, huh?
but I want to tap into your brain. I want to unpack that, man,
Yeah.
because you've always been a daredevil since we were kids.
Yeah.
But to get to the place that you are in
Yeah.
terms of taking on new business ventures, new endeavors, man, stuff like that, launching your web design, launching a Muse project, that program inside of the schools, launching prelim boxing and inviting young people to the community. Is there any fear in your heart, man? What motivates you to jump over that hurdle, man?
Man, bro. So, all right, to back up, right? The reason why the way I am today, the reason why I'm the way I am today, where I'm a doer today, is because I was an overthinker my whole life. You know what I'm saying? I overthought myself out of doing a lot of stuff that I've wanted to do, and I've waited on a lot of people to help me with things. I've always, with me, I'm a community person, so I never really liked doing things on my own. So when it came down to getting up and making stuff happen, I've always wanted to have the group with me, right? I always wanted everybody to eat with me. We all eat, right? And I've allowed myself, one, to be disappointed by people I expected to be with me, which was first mistake on me, right? When you have a vision, or when God gives you a vision and he gives you something to do, he shows you something that you should be up and doing right now. He's not asking you to get the whole crowd to do it with you, right? The crowd might follow in the future, but right now I told you to do it, right? And so I've wasted a lot of time musically, right? Like right now, like musically, I should have a lot of albums out, but I
Yes.
don't.
Yeah.
Why not? Because I made beats over the years. I've composed instrumentals and stuff like that over the years that I didn't feel were worthy enough for people to hear me rap on,
Wow.
right? Or even songs that I've written, and I'm like, man, those words didn't come together like I wanted them to come together. So I don't want to put the song out because I don't want to look this way or look that way. Me, my story, I was bullied as a kid and stuff like that growing up. You know what I mean? Ripped on, all of that stuff. Growing up, I was always the oddball out. We talking school, church, you the butt of the joke. You know what I'm saying? Comes a point in your life where you ain't trying to be the butt of the joke no more, right? Now,
Yeah.
initially, I went the wrong direction with that, which was rage and anger and you know selling drugs and want to be a gangster and all of this stuff because y'all ain't about to pick on me no more, right? That was me not knowing who I was for real, for real. Not knowing who I was in Christ. You know what I'm saying? And then it's the, hey, I want to fit in to the church groups, right? I
Oh
want
man.
people to
Yeah.
want me, people to like me. Hey, I do know what I'm talking about, right? The over talker who always has to explain everything because I do know what I'm talking about, but I don't think anybody believes me. No one trusts me. No one's listening to me. You right? You know what I mean? I'm still this odd thumb out. And it came to a point where it was God showing me like, dude, stop worrying about everybody else before you worry about what I tell you to do. If I tell you to
Man.
do something and it's for everybody else included, I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to have you do it for you first. Like I'm going to give you something to do for other people. But it has to impact you for you to impact them. You got to get up and
Yeah.
make a move. Like right now, I'm a boxing coach, right? Like the boxing piece. I'm doing a boxing, but I got back into boxing not just for the sake of helping other people. I got back into boxing because I'm 50 pounds heavier than what I ever
Yeah.
was in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never had problems breathing. That was never me. So it was, you know, I always wanted to box and help people with boxing and teach. I always loved that. All right, cool. connected with my boy who's also an outreach worker, right? And start helping him, teach boxing. Well, I wasn't gonna push those kids to do conditioning that I wouldn't do. It hurt, but my lungs got back up, right? My physical condition got better, not just because, oh, I'm gonna just do this and I'm getting back in shape. It was the way God wired me was to help other people, but in that helping other people, it had to come to me first. God had to use me and work on my body, right?
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
eating better foods and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Start learning this game. Like, yeah, you did boxing and stuff since you were a kid, but let's learn this game on a different level of the teaching side, the coaching side. How do you utilize that to mentor someone, and how do you mix the medicine and the applesauce, giving a word and stuff like that? Well, first you got to mix the medicine and the applesauce to yourself. What are the metaphors and the similes that have to come through it to you? So this is literally how I'm wired. It's with everything. Now, in the past, I've helped people do things business wise. I've helped people put things together, write them down on paper, write the vision, make it plain. I've built whole relationships with organizations that I've helped build up, right? And then and that all came from some, not all of it. Let me back up, strike that. A lot of the stuff that I jumped up and said, I'm gonna just do it. It came from people telling me, you can't do it. We don't want you in this space. We don't need you here. You know what I'm saying? It always came from this negative place of, you're not good enough. You can't, which goes back to our childhood, right?
Yeah.
Where I responded to it in a negative way. Nowadays, it's more a perspective of, I don't need people to validate me. I'm already validated. It's a matter now of God giving me something, and he says, do it. And it's like, do it.
Man.
If I gave you something to do, I don't need you to figure it out. I gave it to you to do. Now, there's some things I'll give you to map out, and then, write the vision, make it plain. So those who believe in it will run with it. But this is something that I gave you, that I wrote out for you to do. And I'm telling you to go now, right?
Yeah.
Get up and move.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot, man. That's a difficult place for a handful of people to land their plane. And so it shows the maturity, even though your progression. The place that you're in is a space that I think a lot of guys struggle with getting over that hump. Like I quote that comparison kills all the time.
Yeah.
Because to get to this space where it's like, God told me to do it, I don't need your words. Put you light years before a lot of people, man. I know it's God. It shows the maturation. I think about David standing before Goliath and the giants, and he got Israel's army behind him. And this young whippersnapper can stand in front of them and say, what is y'all doing, man? Like, who are these chumps standing in front of God's army? Who defies the army of God? And these are soldiers, men who are clearly more equipped physically, more than likely much older than them in terms of just natural age. But the maturation, the maturity in his mind came from a space where he was in a place where the development happened. And it sounds like, man, for you, even going through the process of our childhood and going through the bullying and going through all the negativity, it was a part of that maturation, like God taking the ashes and creating beauty in your mind. Now you have a different perspective.
Right. Well, the thing is, even in like the bullying stuff, right? In that I've learned how to not really desire a lot of materialistic things, right? Like we didn't have a lot growing up. Like we didn't go to school looking like bums, but we wasn't we didn't have the latest Jordans and stuff like that. We ain't had no money for that type of stuff, right? We wore off-brand shoes. Yeah, we had the one pair of J's that we got from Aces, the one time, and we can remember that we went to Aces and put some J's on our feet, bro. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my first pair of Air Force Ones was given to me from boys in the hood up in Arlington, bro. We was hustling, and they was like, "Yo, bro, you ain't got no forces or nothing." Like, nah, they pulled forces out the closet, bro. We cleaned them joints off with a toothbrush and toothpaste. That was
Yeah.
Dave Vaughn, BJ. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That whole circle. So it was like, you know, I don't know what that's tying into in this conversation, but
Yeah.
it was going somewhere, and then I lost
Yeah.
it. But no,
No.
that
No, I know where
that
you going.
space, that
Yeah.
space has conditioned me to not really care about what people think. Like even in working in this violence prevention stuff with the communities and stuff like that, I'm not interested in being politically correct.
Yeah.
Now, I am interested in building relationships. Don't get me wrong. There's two
That's
different
good.
things. I'm not interested in doing a monkey dance so that I can be a part of your team. Because at the end of the day, if you don't let me in the door, I'm still going to go and do this stuff because
Yeah.
I've been gifted to do it. And me going and helping the next child has nothing to do with the grant money. It has nothing to do with somebody's office and somebody's office. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I
Yeah.
don't care about none of that. But the
Yeah.
beautiful thing is God has placed me in
Yeah.
positions around people who sit in offices and sit in offices in people's offices.
And that's dope. I ain't worried about nobody sitting in no office or nobody's office. That was dope. I like that.
I mean, no.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like at the end of the day, God gives us stuff to do, and we just need to do it. And the
Yeah.
only reason why I'm a doer like I am now is because God said to. He said that we are to go.
Yeah.
That is a command. You don't have
Yeah.
a choice to not go. You choosing to not go and sit around and ponder on the stuff that God gave you is wrong. It's disobedience to the instructions God gave you. He told us flat out to go. That was the Great Commission.
Yeah.
Go into the world and create disciples, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he also told us that we have to be as cunning as a snake and as gentle as a dove, right? So he
Yeah.
gives us all these creative ideas. He gives us these things that are like, teaching music or teaching speeches and teaching this to kids and families and teaching it to returning citizens and people who are coming out of rehab and stuff like that. And he gives us all these ideas, and we'll sit around with it for 2 or 3 or 4 years and never go.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
God gave it to you, if he gave it to you with a sense of urgency, urgency means now. Why do
Yeah.
we get these things that God gives us, and he gives it to us and he gives us an urgency with it, and yet
Yeah.
we move on it lackadaisically like it wasn't something that he gave to us in an urgent moment for an urgent hour. This was
Yeah.
something I gave you for right now. Why are you trying to wait and figure everything out for the next few years? So I'm learning how to get up when he say get up and go. When he gives me something,
Yeah.
not always share it with everybody. You know what I'm saying? But when he gives me
Yeah.
something, move on that thing, man. Just
Yeah.
just just flat out move on it. Just move on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
That's just
a lot of people are they really lack the understanding of the impact that particular call, that project, that assignment has. If we take a trip back through time, man, the only reason, and I venture to say that people that we may consider some of the greatest in the movements in terms of civil rights movement, whatever movement you may think of that changed the trajectory of society. The reason that it happened is because they truly understood and believed in the impact, even when other people called them crazy, even when nobody else got the vision. I talked to my boy, man, and he said that somebody thought somebody was crazy when they imagined man flying,
right.
when they
Right.
imagine an airplane going. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And so, but right now it's nothing for us to jump on an airplane. But
Right.
somebody had to be wild and crazy enough to think that, man, this is a possibility. There's a possibility that
Right.
that science can calculate how we can safely fly in the air.
Bro,
But
we're
that means
sitting
that
on
you
a
have to believe
computer.
in it. Come on, man.
We're sitting on computers right now.
We should
Steve
have carrier
Jobs
pigeons.
Steve
Yeah.
Jobs was laughed at. He
Yeah.
started out of his garage. He was laughed at, bro.
Yeah.
Why would the general public ever need a computer? Isn't that a government tool that's used? All it does is have these green words, that letters, random letters that come across the screen. Nobody, everybody don't care about that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing, bro. The reality of the matter is, whatever God calls us to do, it's not our calling. Like we get too possessive over things as if it belongs to us.
Yeah.
The vision God gives you does not belong to you. It's not yours. He allowed you to get a glimpse into something that he put together, and then it's you are selected to actually take care of that thing that he gave for you to do. What? So
Ooh.
why do you think that you have the audacity to not take care of what he told you to take care of? You're wasting your life and your time by not doing what he says to do when he says to do it. How do I know I've wasted a lot of time? A lot of time. I wasted a lot of time on a lot of things, or a lot of things that I knew I should have done.
You
There are a
about
lot
to
of
have me pivot. You about to have me pivot with that, bro. I'm about to pivot because what you said was crazy. So number one, why do we not cultivate? Why do we not take care of? Why do we take this personal ownership of the things that God has called us to do, or that take possession of, or to have dominion or authority, or to And so I think about relationship. That's me. I'm always thinking about relationship from friendship to marriage. And for this particular example, I'll use marriage specifically because I think a lot of guys don't understand that exact principle that you just talked about. Why would I not take care of, cultivate, nurture, build, invest in my relationship when my marriage doesn't belong to me. This is something that is designed by God for a specific purpose. And if we want to look at our marriage as a corporation, because we know not every earthly corporation has an objective. They don't want to just exist to exist. They're trying to take the world by storm. So if my marriage is a corporation, if my marriage is an entity that reflects the kingdom of God, then I want this thing to have impact. I don't want to just do 50 years of nothing. Like,
right.
what did you design this union for? What are we supposed to do as a couple? What is Greg and Cache supposed to do? What is Gary and Michelle supposed to do? What are we supposed to produce that will live and exist and make impact well beyond our time on this earth? We got to think generationally. And so what you're saying is really powerful, bro. It's really powerful.
It don't belong to us.
Yeah,
Like
that's good. That's
I think
good.
we live in this society that just like everything is about me, my, right?
Yeah.
And it's dangerous because that leaks out into everything. We look at our children like they're our children, like they belong to us,
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
possessive belong to us, right? We look at our spouse like they belong to us, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
like something that we own. We look at our businesses like they belong to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We look at all of this stuff, right? Like like they actually belong to us. But if we look at if like it's one of the things, like especially as men of God, it's one of the things where it's like, well, if you ain't gonna do it for you, at least do it for God, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we throw
Uh-huh.
that statement out there and we throw it out there so flippantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But what
I see where you're going.
why would you even make a statement like that to say, at least if you wouldn't do it for you, at least do it for God? Why would we
Yeah.
make a statement like that? No, let's flip that around the other way.
Yeah. I knew where you were going with it.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely.
Do it for God, bro.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it ain't about you,
Yeah.
right? If you do it for God, He's going to take care of you. At the end of the day, you know His qualifications for taking care of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
like you're talking, like you said, one of the things you said, like, why do I want to do this thing? What kind of impact is it going to make? Who is it going to it doesn't matter. None of that
Mm-hmm.
matters. That's none of your business. That's the
Mm-hmm.
reality of it. It's none of your business who it impacts. It's
Mm-hmm.
none of your business how big this thing blows up. It's none of your business. The
Yeah.
only thing that's your business is that God said do it.
That's good.
So do it.
That's
Because if
good.
you know who he is and his track record of what he does, you know he got something for it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if it hits one person, that's more impactful than a million people being reached by you doing it on your own. Do
Come
what
on,
God
man.
said to do. The impact will be done based off of what he wants it to do. It's not yours. So get
Yeah.
up and do what he said do. And
Yeah.
if you start the process and you hit a brick wall in the process, that's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. But at least you got up and you did these steps to get where you want to get to.
Yeah.
Case in point, right now I am in the process of filling out my paperwork to get government contracts with my media company. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The paperwork takes you 2 hours.
Mm.
That is not an exaggeration. Actually, then when you finish it, you have to wait now.
Yeah.
Then when you wait a few days, they come back and they give you a UID, a unique identification number, right? That you can use to do government contracts. But guess
Mm-hmm.
what? You still can't do those contracts yet because you got to verify some other ways to get a cage code.
Mm-hmm.
The cage code is your actual certification for you to do
Mm.
government contracts. And guess what happens if you made a mistake on that paperwork?
You gotta start all over again.
Nope. You go in there, they help you out too. They tell you what you did wrong. They send you emails and they tell you exactly what you did wrong, bro. I mean, it helps you seriously. You're talking multi-million-dollar assistance that people should be charging you a lot of money for. But they help you. You know why they help you? You know why they help you? Because they know without helping you, you will not get it right.
Mm.
It is that tough. So you go back and you make the changes and you fix it, and guess what happens then?
What they deny it again?
You wait. You wait. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh man.
Not a thing you can do. You wait and wait. And then they tell you whether you made another mistake. And if you made another mistake, you go back and you resubmit. And then you cancel out this form. You start this one all the way over again over here on a whole new place. And then
Mm.
you wait again because you don't have the power in your hands to say whether or not you're going to get that contract with the government.
Mm.
They have the power to say whether or not they accept your paperwork and if they're going to go into contract with you and even give you access to their database of possible contracts. Now, once you get access to the database of possible contractors, now you got to go and you have to fill out applications on every single one. And guess what you got to do now?
Wait.
You got to wait again. So, but eventually, if
Yeah.
you stick to the course of the process, even when it hurts and even when it's frustrating, you're doing the same paperwork over and over and over and over again.
Come on, man.
Eventually, if you pay attention to the details and what they're telling you you're doing wrong, you will eventually write in the proper information. You will eventually be ready to have the government contracts that you want to get, and you get in those contracts with the government. Guess what? Everybody knows ain't no money greater than better than government money when it comes down to
Mm-hmm.
business, right? So the reward at the end of those waits and to fill it out, and then you wait, and then you fill it out, and then you wait, and then you fill this out, and you fill that out, and now they want you to get a level of they want you to get security clearances in order for you to do this type of work over here, and now you got to do a background check with this agency in order for you to do this. But they said they're gonna hire you though, but now you got to wait some more because you got to do. This is how things work.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you think that you got to have every single thing together, every single time it's time for you to get up and do what God told you to do, you will never get anything done ever. Or you'll get one thing done out of the 50,000 things God has told you to do the past 30 years of your life because you kept waiting and waiting for the perfect ingredients to come together to make the stew. But guess what? You might have to climb a mountain in another country to get the ingredient that you need to finish the stew. But guess
Mm-hmm.
who ain't got no money to get to that country yet? You don't. So why
Mm-hmm.
not start where God got you at? Make what you need to make so that you can fund the trip to that country to get the ingredient from the top of that mountain that you need to climb. But guess who didn't take the time out to climb a couple mountains locally? If you don't take the time to climb these local mountains, these smaller peaks, you ain't going to be ready for the altitude up there. You got to prepare for where God needs you to go. And if you think that you're just going to sit around and wait until you get that moment to climb Everest, okay, let God give you that moment to just go ahead and climb Everest. You know what? You've never in your life climbed anything. You go right ahead. You've never even been in a plane with up high enough to where you feel like you're losing your breath. Go right ahead and climb Everest right now. Here's all of the equipment you need. Just go. Guess who's going to die halfway up? You are. You've never prepared your body to go that high. But a lot of times we see people at an altitude we want to be at, but we don't want to prepare for what it takes to get to that altitude.
You know what?
You got to start doing stuff now.
And what you don't realize either is that down here at the lower altitude, you don't see all the other dead bodies up there on that mountain. Anybody who's trekked that and have made it successfully has seen dead bodies all along the trail. You don't see that from down here. You don't see that. You don't have that you only have that cursory view. You don't have that, man. That's that's good.
Yeah. And that mountain trek, it's not fun.
Yeah.
People see this stuff. Oh, this person accomplished this.
Yeah,
they did. It's not fun. It's
Yeah.
not always fun. The vision that God gives you is not always going to be fun, man. It's not going to be a sweet journey, and everybody ain't going to like you, man. They're not going to want to be around you. But you got to learn how to keep moving when God says move. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do everything. I do everything because at the end of my life, bro, I want to be empty. I want to be empty.
Yeah.
What do I want people to be able to say about me when I die? He was empty. He was empty. That's what I want to be, bro. I want to be empty, bro. I don't want to live my life in regret. I don't want to die in regret. I wish I would have did this with my wife and my kids and my family. I wish I'd have done that. I wish I'd have tried this, traveled here and there. Nah, bro. Nah, I don't want to be empty. I won't be empty. I wish I would have talked this person down off of a bridge. I wish I would have talked that person out of putting a bullet in their head. You know what I'm saying? This is why I do the outreach stuff. We had a conversation before about care versus value, right? You and I talked about that. People say they care about things. Yeah, you care about something, but that don't mean you value it, right? When you realize, I started to put that into action, bro. I started to put that into action. I keep saying I care about stuff. I care about this. I care about that. I'm listening to music that I don't like, and I'm wondering why people are not mature in giving the gospel through music. And I cared about it, but I lost value for it because I didn't write the music. So I could sit and cry my cares out as much as I want. I care about the fact that, first off, the people that are supposedly giving the word ain't really giving the word. You don't even really know the word. So I care about that one, first off, right? And then the crowd that's listening to you is being fed the poison you're giving them. I care about it, but how much do I value it? How much do I value this situation? How much do I value it enough to go into the lion's den? Am I going to pull a sheep out of the jaw of a lion? Would I do that? Right?
Yeah.
Or are you going to go in there and be crucified in the process? Right? You know what I mean? Like,
that's the metric of value. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then how much value do I put on it? Because I'm not saying give the same level of value to everything that you care about. That's not what I'm saying. You can have some care for some things, but you don't have a heightened level of value like the next thing, right? Just like the stock market. Everything doesn't have the same value. Every stock isn't the same value, right? So okay. So we get that. But if you say you value something, go after it. If God gives you a vision and you think that vision is valuable, the question is, how valuable is it? What are you willing to give? How much of you are you willing to give? Your time, your resources, your energy, your effort. Are you willing to invest in relationships? How much of your time, your energy, your resources, whatever, are you willing to invest in relationships? You know, in the community. Let's stop this violence. We got killing happening in our city. How much of your time, your value, your energy, your effort are you willing to put into teaching somebody's kid you don't know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So whatever it takes to reach these children, bro, I will create a program. I don't care what it is. Bro, I've never knitted a day in my life, bro. But if knitting is going to get 10 or 15 or 20 of these little girls off the streets and stop them from stabbing each other, because the little girls are the ones out here really like wild out here with this fighting, right?
Yeah.
If it takes me creating a knitting class, bro, to get 20 of these girls off the street, bro, bet I come up with it. Now that we talked about it, I just might go and create a knitting class or find somebody I know. Dom knows how to knit. Dom knits.
Mm-hmm.
Dom knits. She's a beast at knitting, and she creates stuff and she crochets, and she lives right in the heart of the hood up East Hills. My boy Harry is up in East Hills. Watch. By the end of this week, I will be talking to Harry. I'm going to connect him to Dominique, and they're going to come up with a knitting class for the girls in East Hills to get these girls into something that could help them do something constructive so they don't have to be on the streets. Yeah. It's going to happen. We talked about it. It's happening, bro. I don't need to know the rest of it.
Yeah.
I don't need to know the rest. I don't know where the money's coming from. I don't know, bro. I have no idea. I have no idea. But guess what? God let that be birthed in the middle of this conversation. It's happening, bro. Period.
Yeah.
We'll work out the logistics later, bro.
Yeah.
Because the value is on the children, not on funding a program. So I'm going to go talk to some people who knit. And we're going to get a knitting class for these girls. And we're going to have them make some stuff. Hey, shoot, we might have to come up with a fashion show off of that joint and do a fashion show in a couple of the hoods around the city. Get the photographers out to shoot it and get some local newspapers out to showcase what these girls are doing in the community. It is what it is. This is what's happening.
Yeah, this is how you think, bro. You really just created a knitting program in the middle of this,
and it's happening.
And got two people you ain't even talked to yet. They
don't even know yet. It's happening, bro. It's happening, bro. It's over. It's happening.
Yeah. But that's leadership, man. That's leadership. That really is. That's initiative. That's where you place the value and the priority on the bigger picture versus the steps versus the how. You know, that's why, you know, when I heard Miles Monroe say that the graveyard is the richest place, it made perfect sense to me. Like what we talked about, the reason you pointed out why does somebody only execute 1 out of 50 purposeful things that God has for them, or they either go in the grave not doing any of it. For a handful of reasons, I'm sure they all narrow down to fear. Where do our idiosyncrasies come from? Fear. Where does our lack of self-esteem come from? Fear. Where does our not wanting to learn and do different things or accept the movement of change? Fear. The grip of fear, and whether we want to deny it or not, is some level of fear. You know what I mean? That keeps us from going forward. And that's why we clearly see the word of God says that I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. Why did God make it a priority to make the principle clear that I did not give you fear? So anytime fear raises its ugly head, you don't need an investigation. You don't need to figure out whether or not it's fear. If you're afraid to do it, it's fear.
Right.
And so the question is,
for whatever reason,
it's really about it's really about jumping over the hump. And then once you start understanding, majority of the time it's the enemy recognizing, and obviously he's not omniscient. He doesn't know the outcome of all things, nor is he capable of reading our minds. But him recognizing the potential and what we're capable of doing, the fear is created in order to stop the potential outcome. He knows, he's been around long enough to know the trends of if this particular train gets moving, it's going to carry a whole lot of weight. There's a lot that's going to be on this thing. There's going to be a lot that can get moved. I need to stop this train. The sad part is we don't even recognize that we're a train that can move it. you know. And
Yeah.
so you're a runaway train, bro. That's what you are. That's a beautiful thing about it. You're a train with no brakes, and he can't stop it. He can't stop it, bro. That's really what I love about you, man. Is that you're not afraid to bleed these brakes like Money Train. And let's get this.
Don't get me wrong, bro. There's days that I do have moments where I'm afraid.
Yeah,
Right? There are times,
yeah,
there are times that I do get a little frightened, man. There are times I don't know what's happening next. I'm not just this flat out bold, get up and make it happen guy.
yeah.
Some days, bro, it's a matter of courage. You know what I'm saying? We got to
Yeah,
have courage. I'm not telling people that their fears sometimes isn't validated, right? You
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
certain things, man. The fear of the unknown is a big thing. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, you know, you better fear God more than the fear of the unknown.
I heard a man say that there are times when you have the faith of David, but also times when you have the fleece of Gideon.
Yeah,
And so that still the Gideon still had the same label, mighty man of valor, valiant
yeah,
man, the
yeah,
same purposeful plan and perspective God had on David, he had on Gideon. And so it's really about us walking in what God created us to be, even beyond what we
yeah,
can see. You know, me
yeah,
writing this book was a scary thing, man. It was a very scary thing. God gave me. It really came down to like the final hour of it getting done, and it was like I got a prophetic word. It was like this book needs to be done before the end of the year, and I finished it December 31st. Like that's December 31st, man, because the overanalyzing, the man, I want to make this better, man. And God was like, I gave you the blueprint. Write it. Don't worry about the outcome. And I still have moments just like we're talking about right now, man. And now that it's released and it's launched, you know, Shay had to tell me, stop asking people for feedback. You don't need no feedback. You did the assignment. Release it. Don't tell them you want feedback. Put it out there. Let it go. Whoever the audience is that it's supposed to impact is who it's supposed to be for. Your mindset should be on what's the next project. And I'm already writing that. I'm already kicking off the second one. You know what I mean? And so move on to the next project. Allow the seeds to be sown. Carry out what you're supposed to carry out. Don't get so caught up on the outcome.
yeah,
That is especially as men, man. We're looking for production. We're looking for affirmation. Even more so if you didn't get that. You know, as a child, always looking for ways to be affirmed. Do you like it? You know, is this something that you're interested in? And
right.
get into that space every day, because it really is an everyday crucifying of your mind, of your flesh, and really putting on the mind of Christ. I can't stay cuffed to that mindset, cuffed to that fear, cuffed to that needing to hear what the peanut gallery is saying in order to do what God has created me to be. And
Yeah,
that's
I mean, the peanut gallery, most times out of 10 don't care about what you're doing anyway.
come on, man.
And most times out of 10, the people in the peanut gallery are strategically sitting in the peanut gallery. Most of those people are strategically there to steal something from the vision God gave you. They're just waiting for a piece of it to fall on the ground so they can pick it up.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, so what? Now, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, it's good to have those like listening sessions, I guess you could say, like with music, like we do it with music. We have
yeah.
listening sessions, but you bring people that are not yes men and not haters, right? You're not a
That's
yes
good.
man, you're not a hater. I want somebody who's going to give me feedback out of love, and you ain't going to
Yeah,
just tell me that you love what I did because you close to me or we cool. You're going to tell me,
yeah.
"Hey, bro, the song was okay, but bro, your voice was super shaky, bro. You ain't get no sleep that night, bro. Like, like,
No,
bro,
real
why
rap. That's the
why'd
truth.
you why'd you yodel on that verse, but like that?
Yeah, yeah,
Why your voice do that, bro? What is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, be 100 because
yeah,
that's what you need, and then even with that information, we take that information and we do what we eat the meat, spit out the bones.
yeah. That's real.
Because
That's
people
real.
also have their own personal, um,
That's
you know,
good.
They
That's
have their
good.
own, you know what I mean? Like I like certain music, you like certain music. I like it for
Mm-hmm.
we might like the same song, but
Yep.
I might like that song for one reason and you might like it for another reason. And if I listen hard to the pieces that you might like, it might actually make me not like that song anymore. Because
Come
that
on,
could be
man.
the one thing in the song that I didn't like, and now it's something I can't even get out of my head anymore now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I like the song because I like the song.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't like it? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
On to the next. Somebody else like it. That's
It's
cool.
it's really about being teachable, man.
Yeah.
Like I heard a dude say, and now I really ascribe to the philosophy, man, um, about being in this mindset where you're leaning into that curiosity
Hmm.
versus running away from the conflict,
Hmm.
running away from what's uncomfortable, but leaning into it. Like, what's your perspective on that? Why does that interest you?
Yeah.
You know, you see people. I think even from a musical standpoint, um, if you're trying to stay relevant, for lack of better terms, if you want to create stuff that's timeless, you may not be interested in drill music. You may not be interested in what they talking about in the trap, but you got to be able to be willing enough to lean into it and say, be curious enough to say, why are folks interested in this? What is it about it that connects with them? And then you may be able to identify that, man, this music's talking about their struggle. So I got to find a way to connect with their struggle. Do I need to mirror what other people do? Not per se, but you need to be willing enough to not force, quote unquote, the gaithers on everybody when that ain't what they're interested in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different environment. You think about Paul and how Paul approached um, the different churches that he wrote to. And that's the thing. We don't recognize the cultural context. We don't pay attention to the language in which somebody like Paul used. If we put it in layman's terms, we got to look at him talking to somebody from Upper St. Clair out here to somebody who's writing to somebody in East Lid. You know what I mean? That's how he approached those different communities. You know what I mean? Was the message in which he was delivering watered down? Not at all. But he understood, who am I talking to?
Right.
Am I talking to the Romans here? Who am I talking to? Am I talking to those that came into the synagogue at 3 years old and know the Torah? He knew who he was talking to at the time. And
Right.
understood that the importance of the message was, man, I need to be able to deliver this message where it impacts and pricks the heart. And I'm not losing them at the same time because it's something that they're not attracted to. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
That's powerful, bro. That's powerful. And I think about the stuff that you do, the many avenues that you function in, man. I think about the different things that, yeah, like you really are a chameleon. In terms of, that's why I brought you on here to really emphasize that hands focus area, because what it talks about is being willing to get dirty. When you think about using our hands, man, work with your hands is dirty. Even in the office, using your hands, you get paper cuts. You know what I mean? There's something that these things, if you're going to utilize them, they're going to get dirty. You got to be willing to put them in different environments to be able to make change. You know what I mean? And so it's really about being willing to get dirty, to be willing to put your hands to the plow when necessary, man. And so that's something I think you really capture, bro. You
It's
capture it in a
dirty.
lot of ways.
It's dirty. It's painful. It's uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
look at the trades, man. A carpenter gets splinters every day.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to get a splinter every single day, bro. You work with wood, you're getting a splinter, bro. It's going to happen. You might miss a nail and hit your finger today.
Yeah.
You can't stop building that house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
work, electricity, you know what I mean? Like those wires and stuff, man. You ever get a metal splinter from a wire?
Yeah.
Joints, you know what I'm saying? Like, a plumber, he's in doo-doo every day.
Yeah.
You signed
Yeah.
up. You signed up to playing poop, bro. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So other people ain't gotta smell it. Like you signed up to
Yeah.
smell. You signed up to smell everybody's crap, so they don't have to smell it every single day.
Put that.
You
Look at the
know?
context with that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm saying though. So you know what I mean? If you're gonna be somebody that's gonna be out here doing stuff, you gotta understand it's gonna hurt, man. It's gonna be
Yeah.
painful. Some nights are gonna be restless. You know what I'm saying? But you're helping people. You're
Yeah.
helping yourself. You're helping. You get, and it's wild because like when you're a doer, like you get that gratification out of seeing other people, you know, benefit from what you've done with your hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, the gratification comes from watching other people succeed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I would
Yeah.
say that to say at the same time, I mean, people who are similar to me, you know, I would say I'd caution you as well, because if you do it and you do everything for everyone else, like when you just go and you do it for everyone else, and you get that gratification out of seeing them succeed and feel good and things like that, you have to make sure there's something in the reserve for you, because you got to have something to keep moving on,
Yeah.
right? It can't just be this, well, I'm just doing it all unto the name of the. Listen,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah. Yeah.
listen.
You better unpack that, bro.
A workman is worthy of his hire. Okay, a workman's worthy of his hire. There's scripture that tells us in business to be firm. All right, there are places in scripture that tell you need to protect yourself in the process. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yes, is it better to give than to receive? Absolutely, that's scriptural. Yes, it's better to give than to receive. It's also in there that a workman is worthy of his hire. So don't give everything away. And don't
So
don't swindle everything God gave you and not take care of your family, all in the name of ministry and helping somebody else out.
let's slow that down, bro. Is it wrong for you to be a recipient?
No,
Don't you? That's what I'm saying. Like, so
it's
if the
better.
if
It's
the
better to give than to receive. Doesn't mean don't receive, but it's
so
better. It's better to
sometimes you're
give.
going to be sometimes I'm going to be on the receiving end. Like, I'm putting context to what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you need to use wisdom and not give it all away, and not
right,
there are times in which if you're the workman worthy of hire, that means that you are in a position to receive.
right,
So you
right,
can't tell me I can't never receive, because
right,
the principle there, there's a giver and there's a receiver. At times, even if I'm providing a resource, or a service, at that point I'm still a recipient.
right,
Come on, giver, do what you're
right.
supposed to do.
And the thing is, when you get into a position where you are financially solid, right? You have these different streams of revenue coming in, then yeah, you are in a position to give without jeopardizing your family in the process. Because here's the thing, we have to understand as men, our home is our first ministry. Your home is your very first ministry. If you are abandoning home in the
Come on, man.
name of ministry, you are perverting what is ministry. So you cannot give everything, including your family, in the name of ministry, because now you're not ministering to your family. You give your marriage away, you give your relationship with your children away, you give your relationship with just your relationships. You're giving relationships away. You're giving it all
Yeah.
away. Relationship with your
Yeah.
parents, relationship with your wife, relationship with your siblings, relationships, your friends. You give all of that away, all in the name of saying, I'm doing ministry. And then when it comes down to the moments where ministry is supposed to be happening, like at the cookouts and
Yeah.
the birthday parties and all of these different things, no one wants you around because you ain't been around, because you gave all of the relationships away in the name of ministry, right? Or you can't deposit into people who you want to deposit in, because there is nothing there for you so you can deposit. So you gave
Wow.
that away. You gave
Wow.
away the opportunity to actually take care of the home, which is your first ministry. When you look at the home in the scriptures, it's not just talking about my house, my kids, my wife. Everything attached to a man was constituted as his home. When when Lot was with Abraham, he attached himself to Abraham and wanted to be part of Abraham's home because he knew that being attached to Abraham, he had the benefits of being attached to Abraham. Lot was a part of Abraham's home. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the
Yeah.
day, your home is all the things that are attached to you that are affected by you. That's your businesses, mutual, multiple, if you have them, your relationships, yeah, all your bills at your house and all of these different things. You know, your home's your first ministry. How can you teach your children how to use integrity if you never pay your bills on time? You don't manage your money properly. You know what I'm saying? None of these things. So how do you teach someone your child at your home front at home? How do we tell our wives, hey babe, we got to stop spending when you spend money on these things over here, but you don't think the thing she wants to spend money on is just, you think her stuff is worse than what your stuff is. You can't show the example as a leader properly, right? Because she doesn't have something to follow. If you, hey,
Oh
don't
man.
spend that money, babe. Don't spend that money. What am I supposed to do with the money? Because you spend the money. You
Yeah.
ain't taking care of the bills, and then you swindle money, and then you tell me to take this little chump change and make the bills happen now.
Come on,
That's not
man.
leadership.
Who you stepping on some toes, bro?
You know what I'm saying? It's not how you lead. It's not how you lead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
man.
You can't tell your
Absolutely.
sons. You can't tell your sons you don't hit a woman if you hit your woman.
Come on, man.
You in your woman's face, you screaming on her, rah, 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 and you tell your sons to be gentlemen. You're not teaching your sons to be gentlemen. Young women,
Nah.
you're not teaching your daughters what a gentleman looks like. So everything begins at home. You should be able to sit your family down and do a Bible study. You can't sit them down and study the word and open it up and unpack the word to them, and they look to you and they say, well, dad lives this in front of us and we see how blessed dad is. I want to be like dad. Or are you just telling your kids what to do because the Bible say it, and if they do it, they gonna be blessed? Meanwhile, your lights ain't been on in months. You barely got food in the refrigerator, and your gas is off in the wintertime, so you laying around propane heaters and trying not to die over fumes, so you open the windows up in the wintertime. You don't lead by example in that. So when you take care of the home, when you take you're wild. Yeah. When you take care of the home on that front, then it can leak out into the business realm too. So
Yeah.
now the same construct that you are able to exemplify in the home leaks out into your businesses. The
Yeah.
same way you value your children and make sure they are presentable every day is the same way you'll
Yeah.
make sure your business is presentable every day, similar to what you do at home. You'll make sure the same way you make sure your wife feels protected, right? She looks for
Yeah.
security and protection from you as a man. Okay, well, if you are actually providing her with that protection and that security that she should feel, you can take that example you've led in the home and you can use that in expanding the home business. Now
Yeah.
you have a mindset of securing your wife that you can put into play with securing your business. How do I secure my business? You use that same mindset. We're talking value again here.
Yeah.
Secure my business. My
Yeah.
children, I want my children to grow up and I want them to grow into men and women. I want them to learn how to be independent. Okay. That same mindset of teaching my children goes into my business. I want
Come
my
on, bro.
business to grow up. I want it to learn. I want it to become a well oiled machine and I want it to operate itself. That's why I'm able to send work to my team members and they are able to execute it. And you don't even have to talk to me.
Yeah.
Most of my clients don't even have to have a conversation with me. I do talk to them because I like maintaining relationships with, my clients. At the same time, we can make a mistake in handing a baby over to somebody. And instead of us treating that business like we would do our child going to a daycare and saying, you got to give it back, it's like we treat our businesses like dropping a child off at a fire station and
Oh
walking
man.
away from it, and then trying to come back to that child 20 years later and say, I'm your dad. Don't you remember? Well, you know what kind of pain you caused that child? Well, let's look at businesses that we've dropped in the hands of people and we've let them just take it and run with it any way they wanted to. And then whenever we go back to reclaim our business, they don't want to let your business go. Your business is in shambles, and the relationships with your clients say you did something wrong. And you
Come
know
on,
something,
man.
you want to know what words I've been saying to myself the past few weeks, bro. It's been in my mind, bro.
What's that?
It's your fault.
Hmm.
I don't care if that's a positive thing or a negative thing. I let something happen to my business that I'm not going to mention on here with somebody that I really trusted, and it destroyed one of the biggest business relationships that I had for 4 years, bro. All in a matter of 3 months of me saying, I'm going to trust you to take this piece and run with it. Opposed to
Yeah.
me saying, I'm going to trust you to run with this within the confines of what I've set in place,
Of
similar
our
to in the
home.
home.
Of our home. Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to let my children just run my house.
No.
Any of it, even their bedroom is not theirs. That belongs to me. And I'm going to come in here
Yeah.
and make sure you got it clean, because your job is to manage this room. It ain't your room. It's my room I'm letting you live in. And I can
That's
take it from
good.
you at any point.
That's
Similarly,
good.
that's how I was supposed to run my business. You understand what I'm saying? I
That's
did
good.
not add the principles that God gave me for my home to my home, which was my
Yeah.
business. That was an extension of my home, right?
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
I'm trying to add the principles of love, all of the different fruit of the spirit that God gives us, incorporate those into my home. Why? Because I have to be able to incorporate that in the world.
Yeah.
But I can't try to go and test this thing out on the world. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
got you got to live this thing in front of people, and then do it in the home, and then it leaks through everyone who's in your home, and then it goes into the world, and it becomes a virus in a good way into the world, or you or white blood cells into the world and attack the viruses of the world. Let's put it that way, because we don't want to be the
Yeah.
virus, right? And
Yeah.
it attacks the world because it looks like you, it walks like you, talks like you, moves like you. Why? Because as a man, we chose to look like, walk like, talk like, think like Christ. And
Yeah.
by following him, we are able to implement all of the things that I just mentioned into our home, and that will spread into our businesses and into our schools and into our communities and into our nation, you know what I'm saying, and into the rest of the
Yeah.
world. But we have to be willing to live the thing through. We
Yeah.
have to be willing to do that. And it has to be a sense of urgency in right now. You can't not be a dad today. You don't
Yeah.
have a
Come on,
choice.
man. Come on, man. There's
You
there's
can take
two
a break.
things that come to there's two things that come to mind, man. The first thing I think of when you because you keep saying that our home, the extension of our home, and using our business as an example, we can look in the Bible. How many times that we see this person and they're always acknowledging their manservants and handmaids, and all that is a part of their
They're home.
businesses, their
They're
home.
home,
And
bro.
then and the second thing I think of Solomon, and how when I believe it was Sheba, when the Queen of Sheba, when she came to visit him, before he could say a word. Now she already had heard of his reputation, but when she got there, she recognized how well his home was kept, how well his servants were kept, and how everything functioned. This was outlined in the Word of God, where she acknowledged that. And then when she saw him and heard his words, it brought further confirmation that of what the reputation was that he carried. So before we even have a chance to say anything and to testify to what we actually believe, what is seen is impactful. People look at how you treat your wife. People look at how you parent. People look at how you run your business. People look at how you treat your employees. You know what I mean? All of that is a reflection. And then how many times have we seen people say, man, I used to have this employer, man, and I watched how he did X, Y, and Z. And I just took that, I ran with it. I watched how he led his family. I remember hearing Mike, was it Mike Tomlin? He said that he was sitting in when he was a brand new coach. He was an assistant coach under Coach Tony Dungy, and he was a first time father at the same time. Extremely nervous because he just got this job in the NFL as a coach. He's trying to figure out how he's going to balance his life. And he went into Tony Dungy's office, and his son was sitting on the floor playing video games. And he said the weight fell off my shoulders because I saw a man who was in a position that I aspire to get to, inviting his family into this workplace and showing me as an example how I can have a balanced life. A beautiful natural example, man, of how we are to be a reflection of a great example of God. Like, if all we show to people is run, other men are watching us and they're trying to get married and have children, how can they see how to balance that life if we never show that example? We know that. We can attest to this because of our involvement in ministry and coming into being a husband and a father while being devoted to ministry and trying to figure out this balance or this wrestle, but not getting great examples at the same time. You know what I mean? And having to come to this place where it's like, man, I have a choice. I have a choice to watch my home fall apart at the expense of doing all I'm used to, or I can make some adjustments. I can pivot and make home my first ministry. And where everything else falls, it falls.
Right.
You know,
all of that ultimately comes back to the beginning of our conversation. Value.
Come on, bro.
It's all back to care versus value. Yep. We have to learn where we have to put our resources. Where do we invest?
Come on, man.
Right? Where do you invest?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You will invest in what you value.
Yeah.
Whether that's financially, whether that's with your time, with your feet, with your voice, with whatever. You will invest in what you value. My thing I would say is get your understanding of what you should value the most, which is the word of God.
Come on.
You understand that the thing to value the most is the word of God and the relationship with God, the relationship, salvation in Christ, the free gift of salvation that's in Christ. It's a free gift of salvation in Christ that you don't have to work hard for. And we have to understand that, because that is the first step in the roadmap to how we are to lead our lives. We receive this free gift of salvation. Okay, how does God love me? Right? We have to answer that question. How does he actually love me? Oh, yeah, I know God loves me. How? Enough to come in the form of man and die for me? Yeah. He gave his only, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whomever believe in them shall not perish but have everlasting life. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do I do that? Because Jesus tells me that a slave is no greater than his master, right? When he was washing the feet of the disciples, he says a slave's no greater than his master. When Peter tried to check him for, no, you can't wash my feet, Lord. You're just too much. You're just, oh my God. Wait, stop it.
Yeah.
A slave's no greater than his master. If I get down and wash your feet and you say I'm your master, what type of a posture should you be walking in every single day? Every day we should be in the posture of washing feet.
Man.
The value of someone else's foot being washed by my hands. That's what the value should be in. We say that we are Jesus's servants. We are his slaves, actual slaves. And he says that I'm no greater than him, who is my master. And my master gets down and puts himself in the lowliest position and washes feet that just came out of the dirt And then
Yeah.
he tells me I'm no greater than him. And so, as he demonstrates in the posture of washing feet, he tells me I'm to do the same thing. We should be walking through life every day with a posture of washing feet, the way
Yeah.
Jesus washed the feet of his disciples. Why? Because that mentality says you are more valuable to me
Yeah.
than me. You're more
Yeah.
valuable than I am.
Yeah.
And if we walk
Yeah.
around with that mentality, our eyes will always look for a way to show people they are valuable and what needs to come out of me to show people they are valuable. Whatever I have to do to show them that, whatever I have to do to show them that they are that, so that they could see that they are that, right? Some people don't know they're that valuable. No, I'm gonna wash your feet. The homeless man, take my phone number down so I could get you these resources and help you find this and get you that and bring you here and connect you with this person and connect you with that person so that you can excel. Man, do your thing.
Yeah.
I want to see you be great. We have to wash people's feet, man. We have to get down and wash people's feet because we have to, sometimes we have to be in that position. Jesus washed the feet of the disciples for reasons beyond what we could, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
put together. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he gave us this, you know, this breakdown of, you know, as I wash feet, you wash feet, so we can understand, like, you know, we have to wash feet like he does,
Yeah.
right? But what is he
Yeah.
showing us in washing our feet?
I go right back to why God didn't, his original intent was not for us to have any kings. I go back to that. That paralleling that. Jesus getting in the posture of servanthood dispels the concept of there being any desire for God wanting man to be in power over others. It was never his plan. And so what do we see in society today? From the grassroots level all the way up to the highest position in government, you see power struggle. And what is the domino effect, the trickle effect of the power struggle? People suffering,
Yep.
oppression,
Yep.
crabs in a bucket.
Yep.
You got 3-4 people lined up next to each other, all broke, fighting each other as if they're better than the other.
Yep.
But if we come, that's one of the examples I think of what Christ demonstrating that at the end of the day, I'm giving you an example of if you all get this, you'll all be fine. If everybody had the mind, look at marriage, bro. If us and our wives both have the mindset that I'm here to serve you, we should be arguing over what we want to do for each other. There should never be an argument over what you do for me. We should not be the only.
Provoking.
Go ahead.
The
Go
Bible
ahead.
says provoking to godly jealousy.
Come on, bro. That's good.
So
Yeah.
that means, bro. Me and my wife is years ago. Me and my wife, we were at a bad spot. We were getting into it a lot. Like there was a time we sat with the babies at Century 3 Mall before it got shut down in the food court. It was just us in the building looking at each other, and we would just literally sit there and tell each other, "Man, I hate you."
Ah, man.
Right? We would just look at each other, "I hate you, yo." Right? And then,
Wow.
so what God had me do? God had me. He said, "Buy her a gift just because it's Wednesday. Buy her a gift just because it's Thursday. Just because it's Friday. Just because it's Saturday. Just do stuff for her. Just do some stuff." So I bought her some flowers, left it on the steering wheel. You know, she came home. I wasn't there. I was at school, but was at school or at work. She came home, and she came home to like her favorite candy, right? And then, you know, in the morning, she left back out to like a teddy bear and some stuff. It was just little stuff. She called me so overwhelmed in what I did for her. She was upset because she didn't know what she should do to return it.
Man.
You know what God showed me with that? He showed me that with our relationship with him. We always feel like we need to perform to return the favor. You cannot perform to return the favor. But the beautiful thing is, God's love compels us to want to try to return the favor. So we got to do
Yeah.
the same thing. We
Yeah.
got to do that
Yeah.
same thing. The compelling that says, I just feel like I should be doing something for you too. I didn't do this for you to do something for me too. But
Yeah.
the beautiful thing is, I'm seeing that by doing these acts of love for you, it's compelling you to want to receive my love and to return the favor, which is good too. At the same time, the better to give than to receive in that moment, right? I gave and gave and gave and gave to her, and I saw that it lit her up and she blossomed, and I did not want anything in return. But what was the reward at the end of the day? She was on a hunt to find something
Reciprocation.
to reciprocate.
Reciprocation.
I
Yeah.
didn't ask for the reciprocation.
And you didn't have to ask for it, bro.
You don't
That is
have
the
to.
principle. That's the principle. The intention of the heart.
Yeah.
The intention of the heart.
Right.
Like the intent. Then
And I
oh
did it
man,
all
my
unto the name of
wow,
him. All unto
wow,
the name of Christ. I was doing it because
wow.
he told me to do it, because I'm like, God, I want to know how to, I gotta know how to love like you, love my wife like Christ loves the church. Okay, how do I do that? Well, give. How do you die today? What do you do to die today? When I get angry at my wife, bro, I have a habit. It's weird. I have a habit. When I get angry at my wife, I immediately want to buy her something, because it goes against, or gift her with something, because
Yeah.
it goes against everything I actually want to do inside in my flesh. So I know to shut all that down, I have to do an act of love to her,
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
that's a sorry and a hug, a back rub, stop somewhere, you want some food, bring her something home to eat, something
Yeah.
that shuts
Yeah.
down everything about me for her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You
And that,
exercise that. You had to develop that muscle. Yeah.
yeah, and
Now
we have
now
to
now it's
take that
become
mindset
instinctive.
to everything. That
Yeah.
mindset has to go into all the things that we are supposed to be doing, right? Why am I
Yep.
doing these things? Why am I running around doing this and running around doing that? Love. It's all about doing these things for other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
will learn how to do it for you. Hey, bro, can you da 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 da? Nah, but I can figure it out,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you need it. You need it. In the
Yeah.
meantime, while I'm trying to figure it out so we don't run into this again, how to
Mm-hmm.
do it, I'm gonna get you somebody to know how to do it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna learn how to do it too in the process. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Right now, one of the biggest things right now, for instance, in the boxing world, is promotions, right? Promotions is a dirty game. Boxing promotions and boxing management is a dirty, dirty game, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. You see
I
people
don't,
at the highest level still complaining about that. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know the promoters, a lot of the promoters personally, but I don't know them. So I don't know if you have integrity.
Yeah.
But I got my brothers that are boxers who are concerned about the integrity of the promoters. So guess
Yeah.
what I just learned how to do?
Promote.
I just got my paperwork to send in as a pro promoter.
Let's go.
I mean, I love the stuff, but at the
Yeah.
same time, being an example and utilizing this as another tool, another avenue to show the love of Christ to people in their place in Rome.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be in Rome and I'll do as the Romans do here. We box here, and there's a business to this that I need to learn, but I won't be a scumbag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You see what I mean? I don't know, bro. That's all of that to say. My answer to you, bro, is why do I do all this stuff,
Yeah. That
bro?
this
Just
we talked for an hour and 20 minutes on the first question, bro. That's all that
oh,
was
there was
needed.
more. Oh, there was more
No,
questions, bro.
that was it. That was it.
Hey yo,
That was it. We gonna land a plane right there, bro. That was it.
we gonna land the
Oh
plane.
my gosh.
Yeah, bro.
Whew. I appreciate you,
Hey,
man.
no, I appreciate you. I'm proud of you, bro. I'm glad you got this going and you did it, bro.
Man, I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah.
You don't know how much that I'm proud of you. means. That means a lot. I
No,
appreciate
I
that.
am, bro. That's dope. That's why I always
I know.
share it. Hey, this is my brother right here, y'all. Y'all better, y'all look at this. This is my brother. Yeah, bro. No, I'm glad you did it for real.
Yeah, well, we lived to take over the world, bro. That's what we were bred to do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
bro.
so it's just functioning, operating in this lane, and not even the sky's the limit. You know.
I was about to say something, bro. I ain't gonna do it on your.
Here you
I
go.
gotta do it, bro.
Go ahead, cuz. What you
You
about to
gonna
say,
probably
bro?
cut it out. You gonna cut it, but
I ain't cutting nothing. I'm gonna let it ride. I ain't fixing nothing in post edit. We gonna let it
nah,
ride.
nah, bro. I ain't gonna say it. It was a joke at the wrong moment. Somebody gonna take it the wrong way.
Hey, you trying to get somebody canceled, bro? We ain't trying to do that.
Swear. I was about to say, yeah, bro. Next up, I'm nah, cause somebody gonna take it. I was gonna be like, yeah, bro. Next up, I'm gonna be stripping on the weekends, bro. I'm about to be on
Hey,
the
bro.
taking over. I'm about to take over the nightclub night life, bro. It's about to be crazy.
Hey, we said we taking over the world. I guess that's one of them arenas we got to go into and make that happen too. I guess so, bro. We all in the name of the
My
Lord,
nickname gonna
you
be
know.
dark chocolate flavored Twizzler. All them words is gonna be. I'm done, y'all. I quit. I'm just playing.
They calling
I'm
you.
just
They calling
playing.
you black licorice.
Black licorice.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you again, man. I know that. I know the dudes is gonna be impacted by everything that was said today, man.
Oh
This was
man,
dope. This was dope.
glory to God,
So
man. Yo,
everybody that's
write y'all
tuned in,
visions down. Write this stuff down, man. Write it out.
come on, man.
Stop
Come on.
talking as yourself when it comes down
Mm.
to business. My bad. Go ahead, bro. You was closing out. But
Nah, go
stop
ahead with your
talking as
closing
business
words.
to yourself. Look, y'all, listen to me, okay? Because I have too many of these conversations with people. You want to know how to learn how to get a little better at doing business? Stop doing business as you. You
Mm.
are just a representative of the business that you are operating under. If you do it
Mm.
as a freelancer under your own name, like mine, GJ Coleman Media, and I do web development and all of this stuff, I do not speak as people who know me as Boo Boo, people who know me as Wiz or G-Wiz and all of this stuff, people who know me on the personal level. I do not speak as that person. I am Mr. Coleman, who is
Mm.
speaking as a representative on behalf of GJ Coleman Media. And GJ Coleman Media has things written down that are foundational,
Come on.
essential, solid. We have rules of engagement here when it comes down to building somebody's website. There's a pricing structure. There is there's a minimum number we can go under. Stop speaking as yourself on a personal level. Start there. Construct the business. Create the bylaws. Start there.
Mm.
Stop speaking as yourself. You will always be the person you are inside, especially if you're a nice person who always gives people discounts and you always take care of people and you're the guy everyone can come to whenever they need something. That's beautiful. But this ain't that. This is business. Do business. And then after you pay yourself after the business pays you to do the work, then the personal person that you are can go back and say, I'm going to give them some of their money back if that's what you want to do. Don't speak as yourself. You don't speak for you don't get the you don't how dare you think you can take away from the business? You take away from your children's future. It's not you cannot take away from the business. The business has to make money and then you as an individual have to make money. It ain't the same thing. Even if it's a sole proprietor. It is not the same thing. It's not your money when it's the business's. And you need to write a percentage in that the business makes off of every dollar that comes into your business so that you can't touch it and you can't ruin anything because you want to be personable and friendly to everybody. All right, I'm done. Sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Mic drop.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all take care. And God bless.
Hey, before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video.